Call him today for free consultation at 408-805-4653 or visit nagrajhomes.com. You're listening to Real Estate Roundup with Realtor Nagaraj Annaya every Sunday from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. PST on Bolly 92.3 FM.
Real estate investing, even on a very small scale, remains a tried and true means of building an individual's cash flow and wealth. That's solid insight from none other than author and businessman Robert Kiyosaki. Well, you can start on your journey of building wealth through real estate investing by owning your own home, and helping you do just that is our very own Nagraj Anaya, your trusted Bay Area realtor and the founder of nagrajhomes.com. Namaskar Bay Area, it's Vijay Lakshmi here with Real Estate Roundup, your weekly conversation with us to keep you updated and up to date on what's happening, all things real estate, so that you know everything you need to know to tap into the wealth and the abundance that real estate affords. If you've dabbled in real estate or have been hesitant to do so, we'd love to hear from your experience. Call us now to share your thoughts, questions, and concerns about everything to do with real estate. The number in the studio is 408-912-5038. That's Poly 92.3 FM, 408-912-5038. And we are also live on YouTube. Yes, folks, we're live on Nagaraj Anaya's YouTube channel. You can catch us there live and put your questions down in the comment section, and we will be happy to address that there. And with that, let me welcome Nagraj. But before that, keep those questions coming in. 408-912-5038. Hello, Nagraj. Happy Sunday. So good to see you.
Hello, Vijay Lakshmi. Happy Sunday to all the listeners out there. Thanks for joining in. If you have any questions, do call us on the live show now, or you can leave your comments on YouTube also. We'll be happy to answer.
Yes. And taking off from where I started with the intro, you have some
said intro. I think real estate as the long term as a value addition always.
Yes.
You can see that whoever is invested in the real estate for the long term.
Yeah.
The response has been quite awesome. I was reading one article recently. There was on janitorial when he was basically dead around 95 years.
Okay.
But nobody saw that he has a wealth of $8 million.
Whoa. Okay. And who was this?
There was one janitorial just recently expired. Okay. So I was reading about him, how he amassed $8 million in his investments. The one is he was working after 60 years also.
Yeah.
And he was investing at the right sources. Correct. That gave him the good amount of wealth what he built up. Nobody can't become a rich in overnight. Where you are investing at the right places contributes to it.
Very true.
Okay.
Very true. You can build wealth with real estate, and that's why rich people invest in real estate.
Yes. And I was reading one more article in the Tennessee. There was a house which was being remodeled in September. Okay. It's in a mansion in Tennessee. Okay. They were remodeling. Unfortunately, fire was caught.
Oh.
Okay. Whole house was burned down. In the roof was burned down. All the house inside was burned down, but outside remained the That house was listed, and house went to a pending in 5 days.
Whoa.
1.5 million.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Despite all of this happening.
All of this, which it went viral. That burning house, which was sold for 1.5 million. Why I was trying to tell you is real estate, if you're investing with the right mindset, always it returns, gives back to you.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, do give us a call. We are on the live on a Bolly now.
Yeah, 408-912-5038. Any and all questions that you have surrounding real estate, you've sort of been watching the world go by, wanting to step in, wanting to buy that home or sell, upgrade your home, downscale, whatever it is that's on your mind, refinance. run it by us. And of course, Nagaraj Anaya is here to help you through it all. He is an agent who's an expert, subject matter expert on Bay Area housing. And you need that when you take that first step. He can tell you about the current market conditions, about, the communities that you're looking at, and basically the entire home buying and selling process, and exceptional service along the way, as his clients will vouch. So be sure that to call him and to talk to him while you get into this. And also check out nagarajhomes.com. That's NAGARAJ homes.com, which has a wealth of information and should be your starting point in any aspect of real estate.
Yeah, the inflation rate has been calming in recent months, okay, contributing to a falling mortgage rates through the holidays. Okay, that is where the buyers, we can see the start of January are jumping back to buy the houses.
Okay.
So many houses are going into pending. Okay, a lot of buyers or like a lot of interest folks gives me a call. Nagaraj, there has been a layoffs happening around in the Bay Area. Do you see a change? Okay, that is the first question I asked. Like, a lot of folks ask around. Okay, so what I'm noticing, right, like that there are a couple of things which is like different for the Bay Area. Correct. One of the thing is like what I noticed, the double income what we are getting in, right? So the spouse income contributing has made a lot of difference, especially in the Bay Area. Okay, if somebody loses the job, okay, they are tied down to a lower interest rate, which they had bought might be 1.5 years back.
Yeah.
Okay, there are two ways they can do it. One is I can see that a lot of homes are coming in inventory in the rental thing. Okay, whoever has lost the job or lost going for the upgrades, they're giving out to a rent instead of selling the house, because they know it might be a short-term break for them.
Right.
Okay,
so they're putting up the house on rent, are you saying?
Yeah, I see that, because people, when they buy the house, the second upgrades, when they do it, right, I notice the people are not selling. They're going to give the rent out. Okay. That is the one of the reasons also the inventory are going to be less. Okay, because your rental returns are higher right now because you have logged into a lower rates earlier. That is one of the reasons also why the less inventory in the Bay Area, because your rental income was so good.
Yeah, but there was a recent study, I think by the Real Deal, which said that the Bay Area actually leads the state in falling home prices. Are you seeing that?
I don't think so. It's only thing I was discussing in the morning also. The drop is happening where the houses really needs an upgrades. Correct. And where the house needs, like where the maybe schools are not very good and you list it for a higher price. One house is listed in 95123 is listed for 1.83 million in a Blossom Valley. Usually it sells around 1.5 there.
Yeah.
Okay. Seller is expecting to sell it for 300K. House is completely remodeled. It looks great inside and outside. But the seller is trying to expect 300K more than the list price, or like more than the what is above is selling. It's been sitting in the market from last 3 months.
Okay.
Okay. When you try to sell above the list price, or like you're trying to get more than whatever you need, then it might not sell. If your reasonable returns are there for you, for example, you bought a house 20 years back, and if you want to sell, surely you can sell the house right now. But if you had bought a house in the last year as a peak, it might be a 10-15% drop might be happening right now.
Yes.
But you logged in for the lower rates, which you should not complain about that.
Very true.
Right? So I think last week also we discussed there was one house in Dublin was sold for 1.45 million. 59 offers came in. Only one buyer was able to lock in. So still the 58 buyers are looking for a hunt in the Dublin area, where the overall, if you search under 1.5, there might be 2 or 3 houses.
Yeah.
So still the 58 buyers are looking for the house there.
Right. So, folks, if you've been impacted by the layoffs or you've been considering, looking at the market and really refraining from doing that, you can talk to Nagraj now. We are live on Real Estate Roundup with Nagraj Anaya, founder of nagrajhomes.com, your trusted Bay Area realtor. And this is the time for you to have a one-on-one conversation, which can spark, the same ideas other people have as well. So you'd be doing them a favor. So 408-912-5038 is the number to reach us right here, right now, to talk to Nagraj with anything that's on your mind that's keeping you from taking that step towards abundance. Like we said before starting the show, one trusted way of really attaining wealth is through real estate and diversifying your portfolio. So give us a call right now. And Nagraj, this is a good time. We're always talking about.
I think no, that was a good question when you said about the layoffs happening, right? See, when the layoffs happens, right, and you bought a house recently, right? So two things what you can do. One is if you lost your status and you're going back to India, correct? The one is like you need to be selling your house immediately, right? Or if you have plans to come back, you can rent out.
Okay.
Right? So you need to do the math. If you are okay to take an hit of $1,000 or $1,500 in a month, right? You can go based on renting it out. It again depends on how much down payment you made and how much monthly payments you're
monthly
making
mortgage,
when you bought a house, right? If you're okay to it and you have plans to come back, right, you can rent it out. Or you sit within a realtor and based on the comparables and current thing, what is the house value it can be sell right now. You can do the math with him, sit with him, and based on that you can take a call to sell the house currently, or you are okay to take in a short-term hit for you, 6 months to in a year. Okay, no need to panic when you lose the job. One is like you need to think about for the long term always. What is your plans? Like, are you going to come back to US again? Or like, are you able to find a job immediately? If you find a job immediately, that should be okay. You can continue with this.
Right.
Always, that's why when you buy the house, you need to look for the reserves. If the reserves are enough for you, that's why like when you buy the house, the lender looks for a couple of terms. Like one is 6 months of a reserve. Something happens. It again depends on the lender to lender. It might be a 6 months or a 12 months of reserves. Some lenders is okay with a 0 reserves. Like it is basically comes down to how much down you're going for it and which lender are you going to shortlist. Okay, so you need to be looking for the reserves options also right now. If you're okay and if you have some reserves options, you can pay for that.
Yeah.
Or you can sit with a realtor, do the math, how much you can sell for it. And if you want to get out immediately, you can always do it. Always, if you buy means, you should be able to sell it. Only thing is at what price you want to sell. That's what matters.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
I think sitting within subject matter, as you said earlier, I think it helps them out.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you would want to run this by the person who knows about it, right? You don't want to take hasty decisions, like you said, panicky decisions. And there are options and opportunities out there, and you have a trusted resource to reach out to run different options by. So why wouldn't you do that?
Correct. Right? It's unexpected things can happen, but no need to panic on that. That's what I would suggest, because it's a Bay Area. If you bought a house with the right place and the right location, it should be able to sell.
Yes, absolutely. So again, if we're talking to you and something rings true for you, give us a call, 408-912-5038. Also live on YouTube, on Nagraj Anaya's YouTube channel, and live on Bolly 92.3 FM, and studio lines open 408-912-5038. And Nagraj, we always talk about mostly of buying a home, but let's talk to folks who are looking to upgrade and sell their home, maybe downscale a little bit. So you're somebody who knows and who can help them through finding that right buyer, negotiating on their behalf, being an advocate for them, and marketing it in the right way possible. So all of those things come into play, and for selling a home as well. putting it in the right light. And you also happen to be a mortgage broker, that aspect, mortgage refine, of course they wouldn't, if they need that when they're buying the next home. So different things that you're taking care of, all of the paperwork and all of that, helping, hand-holding them through all of that. You can do all that as well, right?
Yeah. See, when you're selling in a house, right, like being in a mortgage consultant helps them to shortlist the right buyer for them,
Mm-hmm.
correct? Because you need to be looking at the different offers which came in.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to the lender, buyer's lender, and try to understand if they qualify for this loan. Okay, so for example, you might have got a couple of offers. One is with a 20% down and another with a 10% down. Okay, but the 10% down might be offering you a few thousands of or maybe some thousands of dollars extra for you. In
Mm-hmm.
that case, you need to be talking to both the lenders.
Yeah.
Okay, see, understand the qualifications of basically who qualifies better here. One person is doing a 20% down means, but it doesn't mean he can qualify, because he might be doing within a bank statements.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the bank statement sometimes becomes a tricky when you are not selecting the right lender out there.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Correct, because the incomes might be, because you might know when the it is not completely underwritten by the lender, it becomes a tricky for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that is why you need to talk to the each lenders when you get in a different offers. Make sure who is completely underwritten. What are the chances of getting an unexpected twist in each application can happen.
Very true. That is such great insight, and
Because some of
understanding different.
some of them might be straightforward, some of them might be a tricky. So because
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't mean you might not qualify, but
Yeah.
make sure that is completely underwritten.
Mm-hmm.
They have
Yeah.
made sure to check all the checks, they made sure to check all the bank statements, and they've reviewed it, everything.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Yeah.
So that becomes a tricky when you're selecting the few offers. So
Yeah.
having a mortgage consultant, right, it helps them, becomes an easier, so the seller can, your seller agent can negotiate for the seller.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So,
Because recently in one in
yeah.
San Ramon,
Mm-hmm.
there were a couple of offers came in. Okay, seller picked up the highest offer, 1.35 million,
Yeah.
without reviewing the terms.
Mm-hmm.
After 15 days into a transaction, the buyer was not able to fulfill the transaction. The
Oh.
transaction fell through.
Uh,
Then they came back to the second offer, who was there right now, because it was a 20,000 difference. Okay,
yeah.
the seller selected the second offer and they were able to complete the transaction.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So it doesn't mean I was representing the buyer, so the second buyer. So basically, when you write and you being the backup offer also, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should say to the seller saying that you are okay to go as a backup offer. If the offer doesn't go through, then we'll be able to go for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That makes very interesting when you're basically being in a backup offer. You should be always say that if you're being the second offer,
Yeah.
you should always convey to the seller agent, yeah, we'd be going as a backup offer.
See, all of these things are only, somebody like you, like a subject matter expert, can help
My
with.
client was lucky on that. My client was, he was basically he was looking for the house from last 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
He was not able to get his right dream home. For everybody, the dream means it is right houses, they have a lot of things, might be budget constraints, or it might be whatever the facing of the house, or whatever it may be, right? Mm-hmm. So but he was able to get it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So sometimes the real estate is just wait for the right thing to happen also is matters. Sometimes it might happen immediately for some folks, it might be quick, within a 1 week they can close the deal. Sometimes they might take in a year also.
Mm-hmm.
But always you should be looking for the opportunities.
Very true. Options and opportunities there are, and of course there is the expert that can help you through it all. So if you want to move on to the next step of your life and you're looking to, sell your home, and you want to get the best contract possible to help you through it, it's a complicated process. And so finding that ideal price point, marketing it properly, taking the solid knowledge of the Silicon Valley real estate market, that all contributes to it. And so nagarajhomes.com can do that for you, and Nagaraj Anaya is here if you want to run your thoughts by. Welcome to do that. 408-912-5038 is our number in the studios, and we're live on YouTube as well. You can check us out there, and you can put your questions there as well. And Nagaraj can do all of that legwork to help you get your home ready for sale, analyze the current market in your neighborhood to help you determine your selling price. And while we're at that point, we need to tell folks also that nagarajhomes.com, the website, has an amazing, the report that it generates in terms of giving you an idea of what your home can be worth. And it takes into account the surrounding homes that have sold in the neighborhood. So you want to check that out. It's an instant report that happens, and you can do that there as well. So 408-912-5038, our number in the studios. And Nagaraj, good question to talk about right now is, if you come up with, you're dealing with a low appraisal, what do you do? How do you deal with that, and what should be your approach?
So I think that's a great question, especially in this market, changing market, right? See, the recently one house was listed for 1.68, and we were able to lock in for 1.75 in a Fremont area. But that house was bought by a fixer-upper 2 months back for 1.4 million.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The seller was able to completely remodel, bring it to a market within 3-4 months. Okay. So whenever this kind of stuff, when you're putting it right, you should run with the comparables. Okay. How many houses has been sold around that area? Okay. If the appraisal comes out, what are the backup options? Discuss with the buyer, educate for them. For example, the buyer is going to do a 20% down. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's assume if it comes as a 50,000 down or 50 or 100K. Okay. We need to have the backup lender options. Okay. So what we did was we went with the 2 lenders, got the appraised. So one lender, for example, what he was doing is if the 10, he was able to do it with the 10% down. So for some reasons, if the appraisal comes down, he can do the buyer can do a 10% down, and they can able to fulfill the remaining one. That is the one option. That is after you go into a contract. Before contract, do the research first. What are the highly likelihood if the appraisal going less for this house? If that is very important to understand before putting, so that the buyer can be ready, because buyer should not be shocked once you go into a contract. There's one is one of the thing is you can negotiate with the seller going with an appraisal contingency. You won't buy this house only if the appraisal comes in, and if you have a backup options to buy this house. It's highly unlikely in the Bay Area to go with an appraisal contingency. If the house is really good and it is just came into the market, that contingency sometimes it might work, because you are not the only buyer to buy the house, right? There are many other buyers. So that's why you need to act smart.
So, but if you have a low appraisal, is there a possibility of doing multiple appraisals?
You can go with the multiple lenders.
Multiple lenders.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So both the lenders, you can go for it. Okay. So if going with the multiple lenders, the good thing is, for example, one lender, when you go with the 10% down. So if the difference comes in, you can arrange the 20%, whatever the remaining 20% was there, right? Another 10% you can add for the difference. Okay. Luckily, if you get a 20%, means your appraisal comes down to it.
Yeah.
Right? Then you can go with the 20% and you can get a better rate.
Okay.
Okay. That is once you go into a contract. Look for the lenders who can do the 10% and who can do with the 20% down, because always with the 20% down, you get a better rate. Okay. And always all the lenders will not do a 10% down for the more than a 1.5 purchase. Only few lenders are there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that way you can tell both the lenders, this is the reason I'm going with this lender. You can tell them also. Okay, so that way they're also okay with that. But only thing you might lose out is a paying an appraisal fees for both the places. Okay, so but that's okay,
Yeah, that's
right?
okay.
Because you can get you will always be ready for the backup, because most probably the closing times nowadays are 30 days, and sometimes even at 25 days, depending on how your offer has been written.
Yeah.
So always having a backup, because to appraisal to come back, it might take a 4 to 5 days, or maybe a 2 weeks, depending on the lender to lender and how fast are we doing it. Okay,
Yeah.
no need to panic, but always have the backup options. Do the report early itself, like basically because you're having the getting the comparables early into it, and how much square footage per it is going in that area gives you a right information. But sometimes it happens, because you might have sometimes you have overlooked the value sometimes.
Yeah.
Correct. Appraisers find out something else. For that one, you might have the backup options like this.
Right. Right.
Okay. So
Okay.
that way you are ready for the if doesn't come in. And I was talking about the appraisal contingency also. I think you can use that thing during the putting an offer also. For example, if your house is in for the long time in the inventory, that time you can use this an appraisal contingency also. Like appraisal contingency comes in, as I said earlier, if the offer doesn't come at the right value, whatever you put in, always you go for this options.
Okay.
You can back out, or you can go back to the seller and you can negotiate.
Okay. So that's great to know. There are ways and means of approaching it, of getting it done.
It depends case to case. So if you have any concern, talk to the realtor, and he can guide you how can this tool can be used, or like this appraisal contingency can be used.
Wow, wealth of information right here. And thank you so much, Nagaraj. Looking forward to talking to you again next week. Really appreciate all of that you're doing for the community. And folks, you join us every Sunday, 12:30 to 1, only on Bolly 92.3 FM and on YouTube Live. And join us on this real estate roundup and get into real estate fully equipped, knowing what you're doing. And in the meantime, you can reach out to Nagaraj at 408-805-4653. So until next time, thank you so much for making us a part of your Sunday and looking forward to your continued participation. Thank you.